How you doing? This is Brother Babakuya. As many of you might know, and some might not know, today is the Feast of Tabernacles Day 1. According to the Enoch calendar, we are in the 7th month, and it says on the 15th day there shall be a holy feast held unto the Most High. I'll be giving all glory and all praise to Ahia through his holy son Yeshua, the Rakadash. And it reads in Leviticus 23, which is written in Leviticus 23, starting at verse 33. 5 days after the Day of Atonement, which the atonement was the Tuesday, which was, Tuesday was the 10th. Yes. So bless you, brothers and sisters. We are the children of Israel. Many of you know that we might, that we are the children of Israel. Some know, some don't, but those who come across this channel, this is actually my first live. So, brothers and sisters, I want you all to understand that we are in the last days, and also that the feast that we are to keep unto the Most High is written in Leviticus 23, verse 33. And I just want to go over some scriptures with you all. For those who come across the channel, those who might come into the chat, I don't plan to be here very long, but I want to go over Genesis. Is it Genesis? No, I'm sorry. The book of Jubilees, starting at verse 33. I'm sorry. The book of Jubilees, starting at verse 32. 32, verse 16. Let's see. And if we're going to go to book of Jubilees to understand how the feast was inaugurated through 16:21. Jubilees chapter 16, I'm sorry, Salakia. 16, verse 16. We're going to read all the way down to 22. It says, and we returned in the 7th month and found Sarah with child before us, and we blessed him, and we announced to him all the things which had been seen, which is talking about the angels, which it says we, is talking about with the angels. And to him all things which had been decreed concerning him, that he should not die till he should be till he should begot 6 sons more, and should see them before he died. That in Isaac should his name and seed be called 17, and that all the seed of his sons should be Gentiles and be reckoned with the Gentiles. But from the sons of Isaac, one should become a holy seed and should not be reckoned among the Gentiles, for he should become the portion of the Most High, and all his seed had befallen into the possession of the Most High, that it should be unto the Lord higher, a people for his possession above all nations, and that it should become a nation of priests and a holy nation. Verse 19. And we went our way, and we announced to Sarah all that we had told him, and they both rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. Verse 20. And he built there an altar to the Most High, who had delivered him, and who was making him rejoice in the land of his sojourning. And he celebrated a feast, a joy in this month, 7 days near the altar which he had built at the well of Ophrah. Verse 21. And he built booths for himself and for his service on this festival, and he was the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on earth. Verse 22. And during these 7 days, he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to the Most High, 2 oxen, 2 rams, 7 sheep, and 1 he-goat for a sin offering, that he might alone thereby for himself. That he might atone thereby for himself and for his seed. Verse 22. And as a thank offering, 7 rams. Salakia. Oh no, my phone is giving me some trouble. Salakia. One moment. Starting at verse 22 again. And during these 7 days, he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to the Most High, 2 oxen, 2 rams, 7 sheep, 1 he-goat for a sin offering, that he might atone thereby for himself and for his seed. Verse 23. And as a thank offering, 7 rams, 7 kids, 7 sheep, and 7 he-goats, and their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And he burnt all the fat thereof on the altar. A chosen offering unto the Most High for a sweet smelling savor. Verse 24. And morning and evening and burnt fragrant substance, frankincense, and galbanum, a stackle, and nard, and milk, and spice, and custom. All these 7 he offered crushed, mixed together in equal parts and pure. Verse 25. And he celebrated this feast during 7 days, rejoicing with all his heart and with all his soul, he and all those who were in his house. And there was no stranger with him, nor any that was uncircumcised. That lets you know that he celebrated this with him and his family, and there was a feast, which was the Feast of Tabernacles, going on at this time. And he blessed his Creator, who had created him in his generation, for he had created him according to his good pleasure, for he knew and perceived that from him which arise the plant of righteousness for the eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, that it shall become like him who had made all things. Verse 27. And he blessed and rejoiced and called the name of this festival the Feast of the Most High, a joy acceptable to the Most High power. And he blessed him forever and all his seed after him throughout all generations of the earth, because he celebrated this feast in its season, according to the testimony of the heavenly tablet, the heavenly tablets. Verse 29. For this season it is ordained on the heavenly tablets concerning Israel, that they shall celebrate the feast of tabernacles 7 days with joy in 7 months, in the 7 months, acceptable before the Most High, a statute forever throughout their generations every year. And to this there is no limit of days, for it is ordained forever regarding Israel, that they should celebrate it and dwell in booths and set wreaths upon their heads and take leafy booths and willows from the brook. Verse 31. And Abraham took branches of palm trees and the fruit of goodly trees, and every day going round the altar with the branches 7 times a day. In the morning he praised and gave thanks to his power for all things in joy. Praise the higher. Now we're going to go to verse 32. It tells you how Jacob, which is the 12 tribes, is supposed to keep this feast as well. In the book of Jubilees, chapter 32, verse 16. Excuse me, people. Let's see. And on the following night, on the 20th day, 20th second of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place and surround the court with a wall, and to sanctify it and make it holy forever for himself and his children after him. And the Most High appeared to him by night and blessed him and said unto him, thy name shall not be called Jacob, but Israel. They shall they name thy name. And he said unto him again, I am the Most High, I am the Lord, Ahia, who created the heaven and earth, and I will increase thee and multiply thee exceedingly, and kings shall come forth from thee, and they shall judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men has trodden. And I will give to thee seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that they shall get possession of the whole earth and inherit it forever. Verse 20. And he finished speaking with him, and he went up from him, and Jacob looked until he had ascended into heaven, and saw saw in a vision of night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven with 7 tablets in his hands, and gave them to Jacob. And he read them, and knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. And he showed him all that was written on the tablet, and said unto him, do not build this place, and do not make it a eternal sanctuary, and do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham thy father, and dwell with Isaac thy father until the day of death of thy father. Let's see, it says fear. Let's see, the fathers. Okay, Verse 22, in Egypt thou shalt die in peace, and in this hand thou shalt be buried with honor in the sculpture of thy fathers with Abraham and Isaac. Fear not, for as thou hast seen and read it, thus shall it be that all be, and do thou write down everything as thou hast seen and read. And Jacob said, Lord, can't remember, Lord. And Jacob said, Lord, Most High, how can't remember all that I have read and seen? And he said unto him, I will bring all things to thy remembrance. And he went up from him, and he awoke from his sleep, and he remembered everything which he had read and seen, and he wrote down all the words which he had read and seen. And he said this, verse 27, and he celebrated there yet another day, and he sacrificed thereon according to all that he sacrificed on the former days, and called his name Addition. For this day was added, and the former days he called the feast. So it's talking about he was 8 days instead of 7 days. This is how it come to be 8 days at the Feast of Tabernacles, because it was initially 7 days. But right here it tells you that he added, there was another day added, which was the 8th day to the feast, which is the first day is a holy convocation, and the 7th day a holy convocation. The 8th day is a holy convocation, Salakia. And you're supposed to celebrate 8 days and 7 nights. Well, it says to him that he should, in the middle of verse 28, slightly towards the end, it says, wherefore it was revealed to him that he should celebrate it and add it to the 7 days of the feast. Talking about Feast of Tabernacles. This is how he got the eighth day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And its name was called Addition because and that it was recorded amongst the days of the feast days according to the number of the days of the year. So that's how we got the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. If we read on, read the rest of this. Verse 37. And in the night on the 23rd of the month, Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and they buried her beneath the city under the oak of the river, and called the name of this place the river of Deborah, and the oak of mourning of Deborah. And Rebekah went and returned to her house, to her father's, to his father Isaac, and Jacob sent by her hands ram and sheep and he goat, that she should prepare a meal for his father, such as he desired. And he went, verse 32, and he went after his mother till he came to the land of Cabraton, and he dwelt there. Verse 33, and Rachel bare a son in the night, called his name son of sorrow, for she suffered in giving him birth. But his father called his name Benjamin on the 11th of the month, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilees. And verse 21:43 a.m. And Rachel died there, and she was buried in the land of Ephraim. I'm sorry, it's like Ephrath. The name is Bethlehem, and Jacob built a pillar on the grave of Rachel. on the road above her grave. So now we're going to go to, now we got there about how the 8th day came about and how we were to celebrate the 8th day. Then it goes into, we're going to go to Leviticus. Leviticus, Slakia. Slakia, let me get to this. We're going to Leviticus 23. And we're going to read from Leviticus 23, verse 33 to 44. We're going to read from Leviticus 23, starting at verse 33 to 44. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Most High. On the first day shall be in holy congregation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, which means you should not be working unless it's attending to the feast. Verse 36, 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. On the 8th day, which we just read in Jubilees chapter 32 at verse 16, starting at verse 16, where the 8th day was inaugurated because he had built the place where he actually, when the Most High Dame said it should be a day added. So it was a day added, which is the 8th day. So let me start at 36 again. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. On the 8th day shall be in holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. It is a solemnly assembled, and ye shall do no servile work. It means no working on the feast, unless it's obtaining, you participating, preparing your food, preparation, setting up your booths. Because actually you're supposed to go camping, but I didn't go because I didn't have every single thing that I needed, brothers and sisters, for me to go camping, set up the booths outside. So I made me a booth in my room. And maybe next year I will be able to have everything I need to go in the wilderness or go to a camping ground where I'm able to keep the feast outside. Verse 37, These are the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offering, everything upon his on his day. Verse 38, beside the Sabbaths of the Most High, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Most High. Verse 39. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath, which we just read in Jubilees chapter 32, talking about the 8th day. Verse 40. And ye shall take on the first day the booths, but the booth this means back then, way back then, they made booths because they went out into the wilderness. The Most High commanded them, and when they got out of Egypt, they was commanded to go and keep a feast in the wilderness for 7 days, and then 8th day was inaugurated. This is what they're talking about, and they built booths out of and we go farther, and I read farther to tell you how they built their booth. But in this modern day time now, we use tents. We just set up tents. And ye shall take on the first day the booth of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the booth of thick trees, and willows of brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Most High 7 days in a year, and it shall be a statute forever in your generations. That means forever, even until now. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. We are in the 7th month. On the 15th day, Verse 42, ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. Verse 43, that your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths. When, what? I brought them out of the land of Egypt. First time for Pharaoh, right? And I am the Most High, your power. Verse 44. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Most High. Praise Yahweh. So, brothers and sisters, I wasn't going to be long. Just want to come here for a brief second, to break down the understanding about how the feast was inaugurated and how we ought to keep the feast even unto this day. For all Israelites born in this land, and even if you come into the knowledge that you are Israelite, you ought to keep the feast of the Most High. Read Leviticus 23. It tells you all the feasts that we ought to keep, all the way in, even to the Sabbaths. And I just want to say, I just want to come on for a brief moment and break the understanding down the best I can about the feast. And I hope this is edification for brothers and sisters who is may come past this channel or come across this video. Even Gentiles, you're welcome to. Jews and Gentiles alike in like manner, you ought to keep the feast as well as Israelites. And the Most High said, those who keep my feast, he will bless you. You will be blessed. But bless you, brothers and sisters. I pray that everyone is having a wonderful, beautiful, blessed Feast of Tabernacles. And I pray that everything is going well. I pray you get your bellies full. Enjoy this time and rejoicing and praising, giving and homage and thanks unto the Most High. Praise Yahweh through his holy son Yeshua, the Holy King of Nazareth. Shalom. Bless you, Israel. Glory, man, to the Father in heaven. Amen.